Going on, guys? Coach Fletch here. I want to talk about a few little things I'm working on right now with my softball swing. And, it's kind of those things where when I find something that I'm working on that kind of works, um, it's kind of a part of this journey. I like to share it because I think, it could help other people out there struggling or trying to figure out how to make the softball thing work. Number one, I think using video, utilizing it is huge for me. Really just because feel and real are just very different. This is not really what I wanted to talk about in this video, but like I said, feel and real are different. I could feel like I'm doing one thing and then I look at it on video and I'm out. So it's important. Just a minor sidebar there. But really what I'm working on, and I kind of came to a little conclusion recently. So I've been working on stuff with my softball swing. Most of you guys watching this have played with me. I'm primarily a base hitter. I don't really hit for power. So I've been really trying to develop a cut swing. And the big thing with a cut is you hear all this about swinging down. You got to swing down. You got to swing down. You got to backspin the ball. But what nobody tells you is how to swing down or how to set up correctly to swing down. Because what I've been doing for weeks now is, again, obviously you see my softball here, is I'll swing down and I'm consistently hitting the top of the ball. It's very hard to be precise enough with a ball coming down on a steep plane to swing down and hit the bottom of the ball from, a north to south steep angle. So I made a couple adjustments. And as I was making these adjustments, I saw a video on YouTube that I really liked that kind of explained sort of the adjustments that I was making, but in kind of more ways to help understand, and from a guy that's got a lot more credibility than I do. I'm talking about Jeff Roxby, who's a conference player. He plays on Team Proton in the major division. Honestly, one of the most underrated guys in professional softball right now. He hits for over 700 average. He can hit for power. He's just one of the few guys in the conference right now that, whether it's a home run or an on base situation, that I would feel comfortable seeing up at the plate. There's not too many guys that you feel comfortable in both those situations, and he's one of them. And what he talked about is a couple of things that honestly I've been working on, so it kind of resonated with me double time. And first one is the importance of the grip. I use an overlapping grip. I'm not saying that's completely necessary, but where this really benefits is for two things. Obviously, number one, we can generate more speed and whip with an overlap grip than we can with a traditional grip. Again, it's a lot harder to generate speed, a lot more wrist stuff, and I have a tendency to grip the bat more from this position versus either a one finger overlap or a two, where I'm a lot looser, and also I can generate more whip from this position. The second part about the overlap that I like, which you could again sort of achieve the same goal with a traditional grip, is where it aligns my hands. So I know I'm a little far away from the camera right now, but with a traditional baseball grip, now don't get me wrong, there's guys that are very successful hitting with a baseball grip. You just got to know how to hit that way. Where number one, it's going to be a lot harder to hit dingers because obviously a softball is going to spin a lot more than a baseball. So if you're hitting a top spin ball, number one, you really got to hit it with a lot of power to put it out because the more top spins on the ball, the more that ball is going to want to come down. And number two, you also got to kind of get good at understanding how to hit the ball and have it drop in front of outfielders versus just flying out, flying out, flying out, which is what we see, most new to amateur softball players doing, including me. So with a traditional baseball grip, the reason this isn't recommended for softball is look how quick my wrists have to turn over. And turning over is not a good thing in softball. Whip is, but turning over is not. Because look at this. Number one, I'm losing power with a turnover. Two, the barrel of my bat is coming up. And that's one thing that can cause you to roll over if you're a little bit early, hit those ground balls, which we don't want. So especially rollovers are not hard through hole ground balls. They're rollovers, is what they're called. So with an overlap, or with even minimally just revving back here with the right or the top hand to align these, so the second knuckle on my top hand is aligned with the first knuckle on my bottom hand. Again, just allows. Again, look how much further this is with a regular grip, but just revved back. How much further I can go without my wrists having to turn over. So again, with me, the overlap grip aligns my knuckles better naturally. So again, I get that more whip in the correct position. The second thing is the swing plane. And again, like I said, swing hard down on the ball. Yeah, you want to generate backspin, but you don't want to do it so much on a vertical plane. What you more want to do, and Roxby really explained this a great way, where he talked about, again, the bottom hand, which for me, I'm a right-handed batter, is my left hand, kind of guides the path, right? And it's um, more of a flat swing plane. So the left hand kind of guides, and then the right hand generates the snap, right? Where again you can kind of pull the knob and then snap. But what I try to feel, now again, I'm sure my swing doesn't actually look like this on video, but what I'm trying to feel, when I'm trying to hit a cut swing, is I'm trying to feel more like I'm swinging the bat on top of a table, and when I get to the ball, it falls off. So it's more flat to down. So I'm not coming from up here and swinging down and constantly hitting the top of the ball. I'm coming in flatter and then hitting the bottom of the ball. And that's generating better downs, better backspin. And I'm also the launch. I'm not hitting it straight down and I'm not popping it up. It's coming out more of a straight launch. And I can get more of a consistent cut swing. So I'll just give you a quick little example here of what I'm talking about on the net. Now, again, I'm sure that came off pretty quick. I may slow-mo it, but you could see that launch of the ball was straight and it had backspin. It wasn't going down and backspinning. It wasn't going up and backspinning. It was coming straight. And also, it just makes the margin for error so much bigger, right? If a ball is coming down here and I'm swinging on a flat plane, it's a lot easier for me to catch that bottom of the ball and backspin it versus trying to come down on a ball that's coming down and trying to hit the bottom of the ball and spin it. It's just going to make your life so much more difficult to try to accomplish that. So again, one thing I would say is, again, when you're setting up, always be relaxed. I get in the bad habit of getting tense, and then I get early or whatever. Honestly, it's slow pitch. Relax. No reason to grip it. Roxby stands somewhat like this with his bat up here. Me, I like my hands a little bit lower, just where I'm comfortable. And again, and then when the pitch comes in, when I'm setting, again, probably that's one swing flaw of mine is I tend to load too much from baseball versus kind of just getting in a relaxed. So that's one thing I'm working on in my practice here is, again, getting a good kind of relaxed position. And then when I come through, I'm not coming straight down on the ball. I'm kind of coming, again, letting the top hand, the left hand, stay on top, right? And coming through flat and then snapping down, coming off the table and bang and hitting that backspin. And that's really it. That's 100% what I'm working on right now, what I'm trying to do. And I've seen in my BPs that when I do this, I get a lot more of a consistent cut swing, and maybe not as crazy a backspin as when I was swinging like this, but I'm not hitting the top of the ball nearly as much and hitting ugly ground balls. And that's kind of the goal of what I was trying to accomplish. And that's the last thing I would say is, when you're BPing, when you're trying to figure out something, always have something in your mind that you're trying to do. What are you trying to accomplish with your batting practice? Are you trying to, even if it's dingers, if it's a cut, what am I trying? Am I trying to hit line drive cuts out of the infield? Whatever that may be, am I working? Just always have something you're working on so you can gauge yourself. You go, okay, I'm getting better at this, or I'm not getting better at this. And I need to make an adjustment to get better at this. So then, ultimately, number one, it's a motivator, and number two, when you achieve that, it feels great. So, like I said, you can't get better if you don't have something that you're constantly trying to work on. Hopefully, these tips helped you guys out, and let me know if you have any other questions.